literally, he's going to go down as maybe the best president ever. I love this guy.
I mean, you cannot bribe me and you cannot incentivize me. You know, Trump, I mean, you know, I was his most virulent critic. I still supported the idea of going into Iran. Not that we want to get into that, but just to the point of, like,
Pawn Star's very own Rick Harrison praises Trump. He actually does a press conference and starts to just fully endorse President Trump, says that America wouldn't be where it is today without him. So that is something to look forward to. Also, Bill Maher goes on someone's podcast, gets absolutely blitzed, and starts saying really good things about President Trump. And then President Trump himself has some phenomenal updates to provide on the current geopolitical situation. Let's get into this video. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you had a phenomenal weekend. Hit the like, subscribe, and let's get into this.
But in 11 months, $18 trillion investments. We have auto plants being built all over the country, AI plants we're doing, and we're leading China in AI. And I'm going to go see President Xi in 2 weeks. I look forward to that, but I'll say I'm leading. We have very friendly competition, but it'll be a very important trip.
And I mean, in case you didn't already know, some top secret military equipment, U.S. military equipment, is already flying to China, landed in China in anticipation of President Trump being there in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So a lot of preparation is going into this trip, and obviously his life has to be very much secured given everything that's happened around the world and domestically. Tensions are very high, but it does seem like a high risk, high reward kind of meeting. Looking forward to seeing what comes of it.
Great. You know, usually I like announce them at rallies and they give you like 3 minutes notice and I can't come up with a speech, and they've like literally just told me a couple hours ago to take a little speaking. I just want to say he's amazing. He's done so much. I mean, so much for all of us. I mean, the backbone of this country is small business, plain and simple. And the last guy in office, all we heard was that we were the evil people, we were the bad people, everything else like that. We don't pay our fair share, whatever that's supposed to be. And he made it tough. And this guy, the big, beautiful bill, absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? God bless you for letting me get 100% depreciation. It really helps out. All I can say is this is literally, I mean, I'm a history buff and I know a lot about this White House thing and everything. Literally, he's going to go down as maybe the best president ever. I love this guy.
Not bad for on the fly.
Wow. I'm glad we didn't tell you, because actually that was much better than when you're fully prepared. When he comes up fully prepared. No, that was great. Thank you very much. And very special guy. Thank you.
Notice how he didn't say anything bad about the ballroom. He didn't take the Democrats' approach. Oh, how could Trump be paying for a ballroom enhancement on the White House out of privately funded money that has absolutely nothing to do with tax dollars, but betters the securement and hosting abilities of a sitting president. Ah, what a horrible guy. No, he said all phenomenal things that chances are, if you're watching this, you already know. But it's nice to see other people speak so highly of President Trump.
2 in 1 day. It was wonderful. I go out and make a speech. Then I say, all right, let's go home. Sir, you're making another speech, and this one's in front of the richest people in the world. I went from an unbelievable group of seniors. Now, of course, I'm not a senior. I'm far younger than a senior. It's true. I feel the same as I felt 50 years ago. I don't know. There'll be a period of time when I don't tell you that. There'll be, because I'm honest, I'll say, it's not looking good. I have to be careful. If I said, as an example, I'm not feeling well. They put on, Donald Trump is not feeling well, because they won't know that I'm using that as just a reference point, and they'll say, listen to this. I'll say, I'm not feeling well. Well, someday I might say that to you, and you'll be the first to know. Actually, I won't have to say it, because you'll be able to see it, just like you did in the last administration. You know, one of the things I said is that we should have, in my opinion, anybody running for president or vice president should take a cognitive test. And no president has ever taken one except me. I've taken 3 of them, and I've aced.
Is that true? No other president other than Trump has taken a cognitive test? Man, it should be mandatory, like every 6 months or something like that, right? That's pretty wild that he's the only one that's done it.
Each one in the first administration, 2 over here. And whenever they get a little sassy, like, does he still have it? Does he still have what it takes? I say, all right, I'll take another one. And they are hard. There are many people in this room I know that are smart. They're not going to ace them. They're
I don't doubt that. President Trump, very smart guy, hardest worker in the room anywhere he goes. Even the CNN reporters who hate President Trump admit that President Trump, they hate flying with him all the way to Asia because he doesn't sleep and he stays up and talks to everybody and he gets so much work done. It's been on the record before. So yeah, hardest worker in the room by far, always.
My name is Shad Sullivan, and I am an American cattle rancher. My family and I derive 100% of our income from the beef and cattle industry. First of all, I'd like to thank Jesus Christ for his favor on this nation for 250 years. America 250. Let's go. I'd also like to thank President Trump and his administration, including the Department of Justice, USDA Secretary Brooke Rollins, for fighting on behalf of the American people and returning to the founding principles to defend liberty and freedom. For too long, farmers, ranchers, and American consumers have suffered at the hands of consolidated power. Just in the last generation, we have lost 665,000 beef cattle in operations, which is 50% down from 1980. We have also lost 86,000 farmer feeders, which is 1,000 head and below. This has been driven by years of mergers and acquisitions of multinational corporations and foreign meat conglomerates. That has created a level of economic and political power that too often escapes oversight and accountability. As a result, unrestrained market control by these powerful corporations has increased input costs for producers, decreased profitability, and forced many to become price takers. While at the same time, this market control drives up costs for consumers. President Trump's recognition that this level of concentration has possibly led to market control and manipulation, political leverage, and vulnerabilities in our supply chains and food security is crucial to upholding our sovereignty and safety in this nation.
Would you say to the American consumer that help is on the way? You have it in mind.
Help is on the way as of today. The way to think about it is the market, because of the conflict around the strait, is in deficit about 10 million barrels a day, between 8 and 10 million barrels a day right now. So every crude carrier that goes through has about 2 million barrels. So 4 or 5 crude carriers a day coming through of the pent-up demand. We think there are more than 150, 200 crude carriers that can come out. So I think the market's going to be very well supplied. The other thing, too, is I am confident on the other side of this, the world's going to be awash in oil. That the UAE has come out of OPEC. They're going to be pumping more. OPEC just announced they're going to be pumping more. And the U.S. has record crude deliveries. We are the #1 energy superpower in the world, and we have never delivered so much crude.
Yeah, the whole world getting off of oil anytime soon that's just a myth. That's not happening. America is going to continue to dominate the energy sector, to dominate the oil and gas sector in a way that we've never, ever, ever seen before. They're going to make a lot of money doing it, and they're going to be able to maintain balance and peace in the entire world because of it. America needs to stay on top and needs to be the world police. I don't want to see the alternative of that.
Set here. I think the Iranians are starting to believe their own propaganda. And just to be clear, the leadership is hunkered down in bunkers all over the country. And I don't think they know what's going on. But what is going on is that they're reduced. Their navy is not a navy anymore. It's a band of pirates. They are trying to cut off international freedom of navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. And the U.S. is opening that up. This is a humanitarian effort. I can tell you, 2 weeks ago was IMF World Bank Week, in Washington, and I had numerous countries come up to me, some of the poorest, some of the most vulnerable, and ask us to do this because it's not only energy that's in there, it's fertilizer, it's food transport, it's LPG for the more than the billion plus people in India use to cook. So we are saying the Iranians do not have control of the strait. We have absolute control of the strait. We have blockaded the ships going into or out of Iranian ports. Their economy is in free fall, and everyone says they have the high tolerance for pain. Well, their soldiers will not have a high tolerance for not getting paid.
Very well said. I suspect that the Iranian regime is not going to be able to keep affording what they're doing going up against the United States right now. But a positive is, you know, all those ballistic missiles that were flying, all the big bombs that were kind of going crazy for those first few weeks. That seems to have really pulled down, at least the coverage on it. So I just kind of assume that it's really pulled down. So it seems like maybe we are getting closer to getting somewhere for a deal.
I mean, you cannot bribe me and you cannot incentivize me. You know, Trump, I mean, you know, I was his most virulent critic, had dinner with him, told everybody that, you know, he's very different in person and he's not as crazy as he seems, but kept right on criticizing where I thought, and then he got mad at me again, and now he's pulled other stuff, but I still supported the idea of going into Iran. Not that we want to get into that, but just to the point of, like, you cannot bribe me or incentivize me. While he was attacking me, I was saying, no, I'm one of the few liberals who thinks, yeah, we needed to do this with Iran. And this is with every subject. And it's very, very liberating. It's so liberating not to have to check what your opinion is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And
I mean, sometimes Bill Maher has good takes. Other times he doesn't. At least what I do respect more recently about him is the reaction of his own crowd, his live audience, where they were laughing at the fact that President Trump almost got shot. He says, you people are dumb. You're uneducated. You're dumb. You're pansies for wishing that upon not only just a person, but the sitting president of the United States. And I think that that's really good to be able to realize that doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right. The sitting president of the United States getting assassinated domestically or by some sort of a foreign agency or just in general causes destabilization, not only domestically, but it can cause destabilization around the world as the balance of power shifts from a current sitting president to the vice president or so on and so forth. Investigations conducted. There's a moment, a very vulnerable moment of opportunity. And I mean, that's not something that I personally want to see happen. We've seen it in the movies. I don't want to see that come to real life. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below in the comments what your favorite part was. As always, if you did enjoy it, only if, I'd like for you guys to hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye for now.